Alright everybody, welcome to episode 28. Sorry we're a couple of weeks off, just this guy here was away on holiday, so absolutely knackered us. I'm going to blame you, Paul. But great guest we've got tonight. I know, apologies. Great guest we've got tonight. Co-managers for Cambuslang, we've got Billy Campbell and Paul McColl. First League One managers we've ever had on.
Champions. I mean, this is the closest I've got to winning a league, mate. Level, mate. Between Junior and West of Scotland, this is probably the closest I'll get. I thought the boys would have bring a trophy.
Mate, I know.
Well, the plate, I know it's a big plate.
It's in the safe, mate.
Too heavy to lift.
Too heavy, it looked at anyway.
I was doing it for yourself, winning the league. That did not look heavy.
To be fair, we walked in, he said, "What did you score it today?" So wind just blew out earlier.
Look, before we get into it, as always, I'll do a wee bit for our sponsor, McTaxos, Gyros. I just say the same thing every time. They're the best grub you can get. They're tremendous. Get yourself down to Kelvin Way and at Glasgow Fort. I'm always recommending the baklava as well because I've been saying to her in the house, I'm desperate for some merit. So get yourself down. Brilliant grub. Thanks to Tass as always. Some laugh when you see him as well.
Big Tass over.
Some
Yeah,
man.
it's all good.
Right, so we're going to do something a wee bit different tonight because you are the first managers we've ever done that have recently just won a league. First ever that we've had on that have won a West of Scotland league. So tonight we're not going to focus too much on your history. It's going to be more about the season. That's technically no pass fees because you've still got the Kelly Pie to go and win. So we're going to go just a wee quick bit about yourselves because I'm not going to lie, hardest two guys we've ever had on for me to find information out about.
Might have been for you, man. I threw a few texts people's way, man. So
I know I don't know enough people. But Billy, I said a wee bit when I came down to the entry game where you have basically been promoted every year for the last 400 years as a manager. So we've got, am I right in saying this is your third spell at the club?
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Right. Can you tell us for your first spell, kind of, and then moving forward, your East Kilbride, your Gart Cairns, back at Cambuslang, getting every promotion going. How did it start for you at Cambuslang?
My big pal, Wardy, Alan Wardlaw, asked me to come down, do a bit of coaching, and take the training and whatnot. So it was him, Big Tam Miller, Big Boy for Worried, and Stuart Taylor. So started off there, went down, done a wee bit of coaching, helped with the training, and then developed for there. We were there 2-3 years. I think we got a promotion, and I think we won 2011 and 12. I think we won the division there. Next season, then we went up to East Kilbride. Ward and I went to East Kilbride. They were struggling. Gaffer left, and I left with him. Basically, they offered me the job, and I basically said, no, I'm his assistant, and I don't take his jacket. So I left with him. That was fine. We got a call for East Kilbride. A guy called Brian McMullen up there, chairman who does all the hard work up East Kilbride. They'll need a wee bit of a hand. Would you go down and give us a wee hand? So Wardy phoned me. We left on the Friday. Wardy phoned me on the Sunday night. Brian's phone said, would you go and give him a wee hand? I says, what, for a month, 2 months, 3 months? We had a date, we don't date at all, you know. So went down and spoke to him, and we said, look, we'll come and give a wee hand. So we went in there, kind of changed things about a wee bit. Done okay first season, settled it out, and then the next season Wardy kind of said, look, I've kind of had enough of it. You know, we've been doing it a number of years. When we touch on it, some of the laughs we had over the years at Cambuslang, but we'll touch on that later. But so he then said, look, I've kind of had enough of it. Time I've stepped away. Do you want to just? So I went and spoke to chairman, and I says, I'll take it on, and we'll see if we can do anything. So we did. We done all right. Got Gary Johnson and Gary, and you've met.
Aye, guys.
Good lad. Great horn. Great horn for a good pal of mine. So Paul and I have had him a couple of times together again, and we went and done well. Got wee promotion there. Ended up at left there season later. Up at wee promotion. Went over to Gartcairn, and Gartcairn were struggling a wee bit because they had Jamie was suspended, and they needed a wee hand. He was out for a couple of games. I don't know how many games it was. He was a few games and smashing boys. Jamie with a good. So I ended up there, I think, for 14 games or 15 games or something, and we managed to win the league there. And then Paul asked us at that point, he was there, with Jimmy at that point.
Jimmy Kelly.
Would you come back and give us a wee hand, with the football side? So went back there and managed to do all right, and then we've kind of developed.
Done all right this year.
I've done okay this year.
Before we move on to Paul, because I started with Billy, because he's been at the club 3 times, you've only been there twice. So,
I will. I'm 3 times a
You're
month.
3 off.
Aye, so
Paul
I'm
was
3
Paul
times
was
a
Wales the
month.
first, aye.
I'll let you.
There's my information going then.
Aye.
I suppose I'll bring both of you in on this, Paul, for yourself at the end. What is it that you do when you go into a club? Why are you able to get so consistently getting teams promoted? Because East Kilbride, I always remember East Kilbride being one of the middle of the road, lower down teams in the kind of central leagues. What is it you try and do to get the teams promoted?
I think, with all due respect, you need to go and have a look and see what you've got there, quality of players, the standard of players, the level, how many you've got, what's the training like, where are we training, so you try and take away all the distractions that you can first and foremost with regards to the setup. Then the most important thing, you need to go and try and get the decent players that are going to either get you up or get you a win or get you out of it. And you were quite subtle there on East Kilbride. East Kilbride were struggling. East Kilbride hadn't won 3 games in the bounce for a number of years, never mind being promoted. So it was a bit of a task. And we did have to go in, and you need to make some hard decisions. You need to, thankfully, over the years, we've managed to turn over players and move players on and bring players in and never fell out with them, because that's not the point of it. You've been there yourself, mate, haven't you? With the custom, bring them and say, look, bottom line is you're not going to play, I've got 2 players in front of you that are going to play in that position, blah, 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 move them on, get yourself into a position where you've got a strong enough team to go and at least start from, get the spine of your team right, and then we'll go and develop it from there. And I've been kind of lucky enough to get it right,
On that,
I think you're doing yourself a credit, but I think one or two is maybe lucky. But when you start churning them out, as regular as that, mate, I think it's you got a good way of working.
You said something there, and it's something me and Dak have spoken about quite a lot with you guys, is the spine of your team.
Mm-hmm.
The spine of your team at Cambuslang is pretty old, but it's got a lot of quality and a lot of experience.
Yeah,
and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to the boys, because they're all kind of similar ages to us, where we played against them for years and know them and stuff, and you're like,
they're still playing though.
Aye, exactly.
consistent.
So that's something that you obviously like to do. Just for me, thinking about it, where East Kilbride now it's different, the park's been widened, but it was like the tightest park in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get Gartcairn, you managed to get them promoted on a nice astrograss surface and all that. Do you have a style of football you like to play, or is it just kind of horses for courses?
Style of football does need to change depending on the surface. You're absolutely right. The East Kilbride Park wasn't the best park at that point, as you well know, and they've done a hell of a work since to get it into a better standard. But it was a tough gig, so you had to make sure that you had the right players, horses for courses. With John Craig's and the boys, and we Azza, we Conley and Barry Devines and we Faddies, boys that were experienced in the game, but could come in and play in that. They wouldn't walk into a park and go, I'm not playing in this, So first thing is you bring them in and say, this is the surface, don't want you talking about it again. Don't mention it before the game, don't mention it during the game, don't mention it after the game. It is what it is. If we don't like it, then you'll need to go somewhere else. And the boys were great. So it's all about respect from both parties. Look, you know what we're trying to do, you know what we're trying to achieve, and I want you to come and play a part. I want you to help us. And we've managed to surround ourselves with good boys and doing that over the years. You touched on it there about the experience and the spine of the team. You're absolutely right. Decent goalkeeper first and foremost. And we were talking about it just before we went live there, mate, that everybody wants good players, everybody wants a good striker, everybody wants a good centre mid, everybody wants a good centre half. And it's tough to get them. But if you can get these guys into a position where they've got the experience but they've got the quality as well. Sorry having experience, but they might have just been turning over for a lot of clubs for a lot of years. So we've managed to surround ourselves with good boys and boys that we can trust, boys when you think you're going to be going up against a certain team on a certain day, when it's horizontal rain, that they'll still turn up. And we managed to get there with East Kilbride in particular.
That's something that I noticed coming down to the Remsbury game, was the first time I'd seen your team. And obviously like Ants and stuff, I remember playing against him 10, 12 years ago as well. Him, Gemo, even Dick in the middle of the park, greeting face, moaning all the time, but they weren't that weak way where, see, when yous needed to start going, it's like, I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but they were all moaning when yous were losing, right? And it was all on the referee, and the referee starting to soften, I thought. But see, when yous needed to get back in, the three of them kind of started going quiet and just started doing what they had to do. Whereas I think you find a lot of players will be like, it's going against them, they're moaning because they're weak, and they just continue to moan. Whereas they three,
that's what they like, even at training and that, and we just get used to it, know what I mean? But you're right, they moan because they want to win, and they're wingers, but
I feel with sometimes experienced players, it's not always the morning they'll do something that will try and trigger the rest of them. Know what I mean? If one of them has to go and have to be, let's be honest, we've all played the game being part. If he has to go and be a bit naughty on somebody just to kick everybody else on, or if Tony or that wants to take the ball and get past a player and then play a 40-50 yarder to somebody's feet, and it just snowball effects for that. So that's what you get. I think experienced boys and all, you get them, and them being quiet is them digging deep and trying to get the team going.
That's the kind of point I'm making, because I felt Anson and Gemmell in particular were very moany the first half, but I felt like it seemed to me like they were trying to break the referee down to maybe give them, I might be completely wrong, give you a wee edge, and then see when the game started going on, the two of them just
you can give Gemmell £1 million cash and he'd moan because they're known £50 notes.
Oh, you know what I mean? The big man will have a moan.
The Renfrew one's quite an interesting one, because coming at half time and it wasn't going well. You know, we'd been 2 down. I don't think we've been 2 down since the start of the season. First game of the season. So it's a wee bit of a revelation, you know, sitting this. We brought them in, sat them down, and we'd obviously we'd lost a man as well. And so we're down to 10 men, no playing well, 2-0 down. You're pushing for the league. Things aren't gone very well. Sat down, shut the door, and we had a right good chat with him, and it wasn't shouting the ball, and it was alright. You need your focus. This is what we brought you in for. Yada yada yada. Want any shouting the ball? And anybody else gets sent off? Don't, because the first time you're going to need to come and see us 2 first things. So don't be getting sent off, because that's a game we've lost it completely then. And they went out second half, and you probably right with what you're saying. They kind of quietly went about their job, and with the quality they have, when they focus on what they can do, you'll not stop them. 10 men or not. And you know, I think for something to be missed, I think credit to Renfrew.
We spoke about that
right,
after it, and I agree. I thought that he's
probably another 10.
The referee's nice. He told me to just stay in for the next talk.
So he did.
I wasn't going to make that comment. You said
I was on mine. I was leaving that bit out.
I've had a few sending offs, but I was quite odd. He just says, just don't come back out. And I went, what does that mean? He just walked away.
And I came out. A suggestion?
I says, what you did? I came out changing him. I says, what you did? He says, I'm not allowed to do it. I said, you're not allowed to do it. It's no school. I'm not allowed to do it. I went,
when you stood with John Brogan, I think that was worse. Brogan's a good guy.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. You know, back to the experience and the spine of the team, and that's kind of where we start, and then, you know, you go and build in and around.
Listen, we knew Renfrew were a decent side. You know what I mean? They
were on a form.
They were 2-0 up in the credited 2-0 up.
Probably one of the goals, the boys handball it. The ref,
that's what started.
Probably, he's obviously missed it because he's
that's what started your sing off. Stoney and Brogan.
I don't think he had a great game for both teams, but listen, I thought it was a handball. Then they scored fit, so we should have reacted a bit better after that. We didn't. They got another. They missed. Andy did a cracking save at 2-0.
He did a good save. He did a world.
Quite similar to St Carrick's. This could be 3 or 4 of these scored us, and we just managed to work away. And we always talked to John Brown. I says we'll get chances and
we'll plug away into it.
Anson, whoever,
we'll
get something, and then obviously we get a couple of goals. And I think another 5-10 minutes we could have won the game. And Renfrew, but Renfrew a decent young team. Do you know what I mean? And good elite manager, good cover off, treated us really well that day. Do you know what I mean? So
treated as well, yeah.
Most teams you could win the league, they don't even talk to you. Do you know what I mean?
No, they were really
respectful. They were really good with us, and
they gave us 2 bottles of champagne.
That's nice. It's always nice.
Really good, really.
Credit to
be honest, our teams have been good. So it's been pretty good.
I think because we're getting maybe into the crux of what the main episode's going to be about. Stop yourself. Now I won't name him for the person that gave me this information unless he's rang, but I believe that you're the only manager that has won 2 league titles in 2 separate a league title on 2 separate occasions for Cambuslang.
I think I know that, to be honest.
Oh, that's it. It's right then. We'll go with it. So, what division was it you won your first spell?
Well, you want me to start where I started managing?
Go for it.
I ended up playing, I was 40 or something with Roy Albert, and then ended up playing with Blantyre Rangers, 41, 42, done well. Took a Sunday team, Kirkhill, done well with them, we got promoted. First season, it was a mental team, a scheme team.
Love it.
Crank team, promoted, then it folded. And then I was still playing. John McCoon says, look, I'm at Wishaw, you want to come in and help me? Look, Pallaway, Big John, I went to watch a game and they get scudded 8-0 or something. I went, I'll just play on for another season. Played on, getting a bit old now, you know what I mean? Young boys catching up with you. I went, look, no, today next season I'll come. And I went to Wishaw. It was a good move because we had a good team. John had some good young players there, and we managed to get a few boys we knew, and we managed to get promoted that year. And they hadn't been promoted or anything like that for about 50 years. So that was good committee and all that. Won various games against Premier teams that year, like Auchinleck, the Scottish, Hurlford in a game, Clydebank. So it wasn't a fluke. It was with a right good team. A lot of the boys now are playing me, maybe Premier teams or have been. And then Cambuslang job came up. Obviously, I'm fair there. But originally, I helped Alan Wardler for a wee bit, just to
you're doing the coaching
same kind of
thing.
Played,
help with the training.
I actually played some games with him. He's like, helped me for some games.
Doors.
And I played some games and then hang about and learn a wee bit. And I was just doing everything. You're collecting the ball and hedges. You're doing anything just to get involved, and then you kind of move on a wee bit, and then you maybe take training. And can't remember what I done after that. I went
BBC, Boss, Bibs and Combs.
Maybe back playing, and then the Cambuslang job eventually came up at one time, and I put in for it, and then I got it, and I got it. Guy Willie Miller gave me the job, and I can't remember what year that was, to be honest with you. Maybe about 2016, 17, something like that. The first season we got promoted on the last day. I think the Lanark we played.
Eccles penalty.
We Jamie McColl. We got promoted that year, and then the next year we won the league, and then the next year we get promoted to Premier. We should have won the league the next year. Peter Sill won it, I'm sure. Couple of daft games we lost, and then Premier, and then it went tits up. We won't name people's names, but various people come in, and I get into a bit of trouble with the Glenafton game, and it just kind of went tits up. All the players wanted to go. We let them all go, and they took care. Was it Patsy took care? Alan Patsy?
Yes.
And I think did they get relegated? They did get relegated to the Premier, and then they went down, and then me and you eventually took care, and that was when the coronavirus struck. Players weren't getting paid.
We had to pull it.
There was no fans. Couldn't get a shower. I think we've all done it in storms and that, and then we kind of pulled it. Just wasn't right for us.
Released all the players,
and then we released them, and it's probably a bit of a blessing. Nothing against the players, there were some good players there, but that team wouldn't have won this league, so probably a good thing. And then we got together. Obviously, I was at the time they wanted to really touch me for what I'd allegedly done, all that stuff at the day. But Billy's my mate, and he stopped by, so I was credited to him. Do you know what I mean? And it was difficult. I was getting a wee bit of slack for quite a while. And listen, I took it in the chin, and I knew that I hadn't done anything, and I knew it'd come out, and I proved myself right, and get back and get the 100-year ban squashed. And kind of obviously getting back with Billy, didn't get mentioned again, and that was that. And then we've obviously done well this season, but it took us a wee while to get back in. It was a wee bit quiet, speed. And just I don't go on social media. Do you know what I mean? For the reasons. After games, people go on it. Players do it. I just don't go on it. So I've never been on it. Never bothered. When I was going on it, I was reading. It's just crap about it. So I just decided I'm not even going it anymore.
Doesn't benefit you, does it?
No. So never phoned them up. Oh, what you doing putting on that? No, that. Just I forgot about it. Put it aside and focused on me and him getting a good team, and that kind of worked. And obviously this year's been couldn't have went any better.
You know,
the best thing for me, I think, is everybody's the biggest compliment I think I could give you is everybody's talking about football, and that's the only chatting about the team and about how well the side's done, and uses the management and the players and all that. That's exactly what you're after. So, and that's the way you should be now, because
as I say,
things happen.
You know, it's like people say something and you'll see them something on social media, and you see them at a game, and how are you doing? And I just kind of chuckle now because I just can't bother. So years ago, I wouldn't have chuckled. I'd probably went mental, but you can't do when you're a bit older. I'm a wee bit softer now than I used to be. He's a hard one. I'm a kind of softer one now. But listen,
I don't remember Billy getting told not to come out for the second half of the referee game.
But with players wise, I'm a wee bit lighter on him with things, and he'll just go no.
That's probably how it works then.
And I'm kind of maybe give him a wee, and he's like, no. So it's been working quite good because the two have never had an argument. That's the truth. Never exchange of words. Never disagreed on anything. And we don't even need to discuss things that long. We just seems to be
just seems to happen.
Just to happen. Do you know what I mean?
See, do you think that Cambuslang is like, you know, when you go to a club and you just feel that's your club, that's your club. I know you've had good memories at different clubs, but do you feel
I do, and
your connection and what
there.
you've
I've
done
had
and all
uncles
that?
played there. 3 years, a few of my uncles played there, relations played there, stay there, trained there, played there. So, probably for me, definitely. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't think about another team now. Do you know what I mean? So it's never been in my thoughts. I've been to other teams obviously before that, but now I would probably be jealous of somebody else there. But
probably right.
Do you know what I mean? So, and Billy's been there just as long. Do you know what I mean? Managing wise, so.
It seems like you both get called back to it. I mean, that's both
just,
been there
I
multiple
felt a wee
times.
bit when we got back together the last time, and Paul's, we're not getting into too much detail, but Paul, struggling a wee bit, and I'd said to him at the time, look, first chance we get when it gets all got cleared up, I'll get you back in, we'll do it together. And as a result,
to be fair to him, he kept his word because I was getting it tight. Do you know what I mean? And nobody else ever took his own, no chance. And he's like, no, you'll concentrate on football. Once you sort this band, whatever it is, out, and he trusted me, and I said, look, never done it, and so on and so on. And got us back in. It was great. Do you know what I mean? Because nobody else would have done that.
It's worked. That's worked well.
Something that I actually just remembered when you were talking the year that he's get relegated. I thought I ever told you this. My mate was approached about the Cambuslang job that year, and he was going to ask me to go on as his co-manager with him. And
man. You're fucking at it, man.
I'm serious.
Hey?
I'm serious.
You've played for everybody. You've nearly managed everybody.
Look, mate, people want you sometimes. They don't want you for that long, but they want you sometimes. But it was like, we were told, my mate was told that it was only going to be guaranteed until the end of the season, then it'd be reviewed. Right. And he's like, that's no for us. It has to be, we get it or we don't get it. I actually forgot about that then. So, see, like, you both went in, you talk about like Wardy and stuff, going in, helping them out, and do you think that was good, like almost like an apprenticeship for you?
100%.
To go in and just
definitely
facilitate the job.
You need to start somewhere, and you can't just get through into a manager's job because you'll probably not work out. So it was good that way. Even though you're thinking about it, going, I used to like boys behind the fucking hedges, but listen, you would. Big Gorham come in and was doing all that. He didn't care. He would go and pick the bibs and balls up and all that stuff, and he wasn't scared to get his hands dirty. So that's the things we done, and it was good because it worked out well for us. You know what I mean? You just gradually move on, do a session, get involved in the team talk. Next thing you know,
you've not really got a speaking part when you get it first. You get as a coach, you're taking the training, but when it comes to
that's probably the hardest part is getting. You can't slip up talking to your teammates or your team if you're the manager. You can't. You just can't. You need to get it right all the time, and you need to stick to what you've said.
Aye, 100%. Because when I went into Ashfield at first, Maxie and Riza, when they were there, they'd go to the job and it was just a wee bit after they said, listen, we're looking for somebody to do the goalies, but they're like, but we know that that's not what you want to do. But I'm like, because it was with him, I was like, I'll come in and do whatever needs done because I want to come in and I want to work with you and I want to be part of what you are trying to do. So even though I went in there, they were brilliant ways, and that's where I started. And then they got me. Then I quickly went into coaching the players and then into assistant manager. So it is, isn't it? You just need to start with where you need to start.
We had originally we had Wardy and Tam Muller, and very much is what it was. You didn't much of a speaking. You had an input when you asked for an input. Whether or not you just done what you done, and we said, "Boys, Bib and Combs." That's what Stuart Taylor's name was.
He's mental.
But that was an apprenticeship for me. So you develop that relationship where you speak when you're asked to speak, and you deal with the players training wise. Develops, doesn't it? Develops.
I was at Cumnock, and I might say I was at Cumnock with John McCune. Done that for a wee bit, and that was good. It was good in there. Good fan base. Our first game was Auchinleck. Absolutely scudded. First game, I think we took the job on a Wednesday, Saturday, Auchinleck. I was like, they're flying. 5-0. And John's like, oh, let's go. And I went, no. We'll go into their club, we'll get a cup of tea, take it in the chin. And we did, and it was the best thing we'd done. Know what I mean? Fans were really, their fans were good, was, you know what I mean? And we had a good team, but it just didn't quite work out for me doing there. So I mean, I went to do my thing, Cambuslang job come up. John's like, no, listen.
Worked out well.
And John ended up coming and helping us out at one time and all. And John's a good manager.
He was weird,
Right, going on to this season, the unbelievable season. You've broken records, scored a ridiculous amount of goals, conceded so few goals. What is different about this season? Obviously, you've had COVID before, and things have been very stop-start for everybody. What was different this season? Or was there? Did you notice anything different, or was it just like a normal season, bringing boys in?
You had Scott obviously scoring already goals, an insane amount of goals for a young boy. You know what I mean? You had a good goalkeeper. You had a great goalkeeping coach that taught him a wee bit. He became a good goalie, but he ended up with an exceptional goalie for us. You know what I mean? The record amount of shutouts in a row, and he's getting trained by one of the best goalkeepers in the world.
That's how I ended up as a goalie myself, was because of Andy Gorham. You know what I mean?
That guy, just as I say, so that kind of helped with shutouts and scoring. And you've got guys like Tony in the middle, just can't get the ball. I can't mind many times he lost the ball in a game. You know what I mean? He's unbelievable. You've got Reedy, 8 out of 10 every week. Hansen,
brilliant.
I can't actually mind any of these guys having a bad game.
Having a right bad game. Maybe made one mistake or
Gary
something.
Griffin. Funny quick story, Gary. We were in the pub one day and the guy walks in, man. He's looking he's like, looking for Chris Sock, the manager. I'm like, what that name? I went, nah. He went, I says, what are you? He says, I'm Gary Griffin. I played with Ross Fell. And I'm like, that's your phone. It was Cumbernauld. He went to the wrong place. So I'm like, I remember, I'm like, you're a good player. I went, we're training tomorrow. Why just stuff them? Come to us tomorrow. Aye, all right. He came and he was brilliant. That's how we go.
Just pure luck.
Signed him, but he's been brilliant. And BJ, the two of them are
young Callum.
Like that. Callum McLean and all. But Jane Garrett have been brilliant. Nothing tear him, but the two of them stuck in. Technically very good, the two of them.
Yeah.
And obviously the other player, Gamble and that, Tony's sell about getting goals.
Ryan in the middle.
Ryan Stewart. Even the boys that have been subs a lot of the time. You've got guy Gordon Dick coming in at the team. But a quality in that. So it's just worked out really well. Everything went well. Nothing didn't.
You know, one of the for all the times we've been doing it, from a training perspective, you know, the grief you get at training, and you know the 25 reasons that they come out where they can't make it. We never had that this season.
No, they trained. Remember the season before, you were getting 11, 13.
No dramas at training, or turning up, all on time.
Do you think that's because your form was so good?
Well,
it probably helped, it probably helped. Mate, it helped. It's
they wanted to be there and they wanted to be involved, maybe, but
horrible nights.
But they earned that, you know.
Someone who's early, they're still turning up, which was good.
Up at the hill in the horizontal snow and rain, they were always there, you know. Maybe one body. More often than not, I would say nearly every week with full complement, didn't they?
Well, hard to score against. Really hard to score against.
Did you work a lot on that defensive shape and all that when you were
honestly, no,
just they're just good at doing it. Generally doing that, they thought we
wouldn't focus on training spending an hour doing tactical stuff because
do you know one of the only things we spent a month on was set pieces for the corners because we were a wee bit all over the place and I was hold on, you know, and we walked them in and we done it the first week. Not bad. Into the second week, into the third week. Time we got to the fourth week, right, boom, set it up. You probably, you know, we're playing really get it set up and they were great at it. Because they're a lot of ex-senior players and, you know, you didn't really do too much of it.
Training was fairly simple.
Tremendous.
A bit of ball work, slick bit of running through the season and just a wee game in it. And it
go
worked,
easy on them when they needed it and then give them a wee bit of a...
We didn't change it because it kept on. We kept on winning.
And I'm like, why change it?
Same plays on that, do all that daft things you think of. And we didn't really... And then Big Anson's been taking training and it's been working out quite. Keegan Parker was there.
Is Keegan still not there anymore?
No, he's not there. He's doing other things. But he was good enough. Do you know what I mean? Give him a bit of credit. And And obviously,
Keegs played for us, man, at Ashfield, man. Some boy, honestly.
yeah, he's
some
mad.
boy.
Did he tell you about his goal at Wembley?
Oh, Billy, mate, honestly.
Blackpool, was it?
Unbelievable,
Really?
Billy. That's all I used to hear about, man. See if you just go on YouTube, my man, and type in Wembley.
Is that the Sean
Blackpool,
Dillon equivalent of being player of the
I'm
month?
like, he'll see if you just go on YouTube. I could say to him now, get him on now. Go to YouTube, type in PG and Dag, man. I'm bigger than you now.
It was good. You'd him and you'd go him.
Aye.
Players were like, these two guys, man, are two quality players in their day.
Gorham was exceptional. See at training.
Gorham was brilliant, aye.
Exceptional. We go pick him up. I say to him, look, we'll get you, half a dozen match balls, some cones, in a bag, that's all your stuff. Give me that. Get out the motor, boom, away, set up there. Just attitude for it. And I was like a bit sceptical. I don't know if he's really that. See for the first minute. Tremendous. And the stuff he done us a couple of things one night. The boys were training away and we were watching him and Big Andy, our goalie, and he was doing something. I said, what's he doing there? And he showed us this thing where he laid down, just moved a foot, and how you could see these things, just something so simple. Him and I looked at each other and went,
see if I was that young boy and he was training you, man. What a buzz you're getting every night at training.
He definitely brought Big Andy on, man. He was a good goalkeeper.
Confidence-wise.
Aye, but he turned him into a really good goalkeeper.
Do you know what, Andy, I know, but when we played, the boys played us at Ashfield, man, and this is probably what Andy will bring you. One of my players, man, asked for a picture with him before the game, and I'm in the dressing room and I hammered him. Wee Dino was pure the biggest Rangers fan, him and his family, Coco and Dino. And he's like, can I get a picture with you, Andy? And I went in the dressing room and I goes, you want pictures with Andy Gorham before the game we're going to play him? I says, get a picture after the game.
It was good. It was great after the games and that. As I say, we were talking about the big goal who's been brilliant all season, the defence. As I say, Anson's a centre forward, he went half the season at centre half. He's been absolutely brilliant. And as I say, Tony and that every
one side
quality, do you know what I mean? He's still a senior player.
100%.
Callum at left back was just a machine. Smokes 100 a day after the game, man. And then we added a couple of others like Jack McClarty and that, who's half his rocker.
Jack was
but he can score goals. He's one of the guys who at training he'd only grunt, he wanted to get a goal and he was suspended, got suspended, and then went to a wedding, and he's not really had that many games, but he can score goals, you know what I mean? He's very awkward to play against, isn't he?
You're talking about that, just saying about the big goalie, Big Andy, he makes right good saves at really important times in the game.
He's young, isn't he? Is he young?
23 or something.
Keeps you in the game.
Great boy.
Could go one way or the other, and it's
doesn't miss training.
Always first at training.
Always there. No hassle. Doesn't moan about it.
Again, I'll go back to the Embry games. It's the only time I've seen this season. There was a save he made, maybe, I think it was 2-0, and I remember thinking, and it wasn't like see the way you were with the Leishman saves the other night, right? That was like, you're a proper goalkeeper's response, where there was one in particular Leishman's made where I was like, oh, that's a good save. And you went mental, and I thought, that's a goalkeeper's perspective. You've looked at it. Big Andy made a save at 2-0. And it wasn't an amazing save, but I thought, that is a massive save. Because if he doesn't do that, you're fucked.
The game's done.
That's what I'm saying about good goalies make good saves.
That's why. But let's be honest, man. All at clubs, goalies, man. Not a lot of managers even like goalies, man, and never mind giving them the time of the day. But see, because I've played in goal, you appreciate a wee bit more what they do.
You get a good goalkeeper and two good centre halves, and you can go very far.
Because when we played Hughes, he had a couple of saves in the first half. He was very good. And the big thing that I thought that he done was, it was a horrible day that day, and our part's dead tight, and we were putting long throws into the box and crosses into the box, and he was coming and trying to take everything, and he's taking responsibility.
He's about 9 foot tall when he goes up and garages it.
And it's good to hear daft goalies getting a good wee bit of exposure, because they don't often get it, know what I mean?
He's a great lad. He's
nice boy, I know.
He just comes in and goes away and just laughs. We just take a piss at him and just laughs, and then just chuckles away.
Right,
good lad.
You lose the first game of the season 3-2 to St Cadoc's. Granted, you go on a 10-game winning streak after that. How are you feeling after that first game? St Cadoc's were favourites, probably, I'd say, to win the league.
Aye, they were.
We were disappointed, to be fair, I think, maybe, because we should have got that.
We should have got something to we scored a goal. In my opinion, it was a goal.
Absolutely, it was a goal over the line. But
Jordan took the 40, and was behind it. You could see it clearly. The refs missed it.
So be it.
And that was that. And we just had to go on. But after that, it was like, it's going to be a long season, you know what I mean? But I thought, they're a right good team. They're the favourites. Let's just get our heads down and just try and keep winning and get some points on the board and see where it takes us. And then we
played good. I think we gave them a wee bit of confidence for that. The second half we played well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we played well. We come back into the game and you know, we could have should maybe come away with something. But they played well that day. They played well that day, and I think that set us up for the next time we came round. We thought, we're not having that again. You know, we came out the traps. I think, to credit to South, you know, he says first 20-25 minutes when we played them, you know, up at the Ants Park, at their home park at that point, we played very, very well.
Boys not about 3-0 up in the first
25 minutes. We absolutely went for it. You know, we didn't want run out again. So, but the boys reacted well. You know, so
they're a good side with good players.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to bounce back for me to then go on that run is just then. That's when the 10 games won. That's when when it started getting 8, 9 and that, you start to go, right, Cambuslang, they're no.
I mean something here.
They're starting to motor on a bit here. Because every week we were talking about it on the roundup, saying that's another one for Cambuslang a day. Right, they're just
every year at any team I've had. We're running about tap at Christmas. They're definitely on my shout.
You're trying to get as many games in as you can before the winter.
I probably think everyone near enough. We've been thereabouts. So, I mean, somebody told me that it was Willie Dobbins or something. Then it says if you get here earlier,
try and get
a good chance that you'll get somewhere at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And so, but no, that first game was, we got a wee bit hard with how we come back a wee bit. I know we get beaten up, but I thought, wait a minute, they're a right good team, and we should maybe go a draw to that. See how it goes.
Sometimes a defeat can be a good thing for you.
Well,
you learn from it.
Aye. Well, bearing in mind we did a cut. We weren't a great pre-season, weren't we? No, mate. We'd won.
No, we were a wee bit up and down in pre-season.
And we were thinking we need to settle in quickly, you know. But the second half of that game, we thought, well, do you know what? We're all right. And we sat down with them 15-20 minutes after the game and had a wee chat through what we thought, all the positives of it, you know, because everybody was a bit thin, because they were all of the opinion. Was it Campbell that scored, or the one that would get chopped off?
That was Campbell, aye.
So he was going like a raging bull at that point, you know. So because he's thinking he's equalised and we're back in the game and blah blah blah. So, but we spent a fair bit of time just talking through it. Then we went into training on Monday, done it same again. Calm down. We've got a job to do. You know what I mean?
Just good runs throughout the season, and
we'll be all right.
So
we've had the 10 games in a bounce, and like Dak said, we were very similar to like the Peters Hill run that they had, where we were talking about these every week. Then that infamous game against Gartcairn, where there's obviously been, we spoke about it, with issues with ineligible players or no ineligible players. How did that game go for you? And I'm not even meaning not to get yourselves into any bother with that, but how was it just in terms of the football? Because the two of you were
listen, we weren't bad, but we weren't great. And the big goalie wasn't there. Campbell wasn't there. Somebody else. So that kind of affected us. But it happens out the season with other teams. So we just go on with it. They probably win the game fair and square.
Yeah, 100%. You couldn't
debate. Get sent off, but
well, was it fair and square?
Too controversial there.
I had to do it. I had to.
But no, it was 1-0. Owen Ronald scored a nice goal.
Aye.
I thought the goalie could have done a wee bit better. I thought the shot was a wee bit central with the big Spanish boy in.
Moved.
If Andy was in, I thought he'd have probably saved that. And then they got a goal at the end with Ross McNeil, who's a Honfey, could score goals.
Good goal scorer. Aye.
So 2-0. I was disappointed that the game was on that night and we'd missed a few players, but we just had to get on with it. And they probably should have won the game on the night. We've played better, but we weren't terrible. We were okay in spells.
But overall, they deserve to win that.
Overall, they deserve to win the game. So
we're a wee bit, you know, you're trying to state the controversy part of it. You're right, you know, we'd asked for the game to be moved because we'd four players, but were starters for us. Couldn't make it because it was a midweek, and it was kind of refused or not back or whatever.
Obviously, we just
need to go and do it, you know. So we came back in the Saturday and said, right, okay.
I think we won a good run after that.
Get our heads down. Let's get in about it.
In the league, I think he's won 11 or 12 on a bounce after that. So see at that time, because Gartcairn started bringing in a lot of new bodies, because they obviously had the poor start. Then they really picked up, and beating you obviously was massive for them. And they looked like they were going to be putting a bit of a challenge in. St Cadoc's with Southie at that time was still very much in there.
Absolutely.
What's the atmosphere like in the dressing room for you? What are you tournamenting, or is it just go about your business as you have been?
It's game at a time. Just that game was obviously a bit of a disappointment, but we managed to start getting a couple of wins and just rolled on. Training was good. We're all turning up. Everybody's happy. Kept on winning. Not really changed then.
See the winning, but Willie and Paul, it wasn't tight. I know. He's went on this run.
Enjoyable wins.
He's went on this run of form, crazy amount of goals.
Before you finish that there, like you said, that there's an 8 in there, there's a 7 now, there's 5, there's multiple 5s in there, there's 6-0s in there.
I was like, even like cup games and all that, I was looking and I was going,
we always knew with the quality there.
You know the quality.
He'll score goals.
He's going to score.
Did you ever think obviously he's rated him as a player, and it's brilliant to see him getting to move senior and stuff like that, and obviously you have encouraged that, which is always good to see. But yeah, surely he wouldn't I would never have envisaged this getting that amount of goals.
I thought he'd have just struggled in the team this year with the
we weren't even sure at the start. We took a chance, didn't we, at the start? Him and VJ.
Go on a year and a bit ago and put him on against Lanark. Bang, hat-trick. I'm like that. He couldn't trap a bag of cement, know what I mean? But I was like, he's rapid. He'd scored a lot of goals with 21s. And then another game he scored a couple. And I'm like that. We actually gave him a wee start. And it just steamrolled the goals. Just kept him going. And he's got better, holding up better.
Reminds me of Big Callum, not the same type of player, but when we brought Callum into Ashfield and how he just hit the ground running and then started, and you felt it was
like, you know the funniest thing, the boys slagged him, right? See when we were playing up at Dale, we're training, we're even in the barn, and he scores, loves scoring, he's scoring a goal in the barn, at 5s. When the boys were like, what are you about? He just loves scoring goals, and you can see it in him. He wants to score goals, you know what I mean? Doesn't not interested in anything else.
Between him, Gemmell, Hansen, maybe what they've scored a
goals. It's frightening.
146 goals in 35 games they've scored so far.
Scott's really featured in the last 4 games.
Well, we kind of said, we decided that, we took him aside and said to him that when the deal was done, that all being well, if we're doing okay in the games, we're taking off. So 3 or 4
Glasgow Cup games, he can play Glasgow Cup games.
He scored a couple of goals.
He scored 2 the other night against Clyde. So
there's
some rule that can loan him back, and then he can play in the Glasgow Cup games. So they've got Rangers in the final.
So hopefully he does well,
So he's been scoring.
I've been
to all the games apart from the Clyde game, but and he's just getting better. But it'll be different at Queen's Park because it'll no be get a body Scott, get it out of the tap, all that stuff. It'll be a total different game. He'll need to adjust to the way they play.
By going, I mean, he was rapid when he was young, and he'll be able to tell him what
he's a goal scorer. And we're hoping that they know he's scoring goals for the reserve. And the reserve league's pretty good because you've got a lot of first team players playing it. So he's got a chance.
Hopefully he does.
He's got a 3.5 year deal.
So he's got time then.
He's got a bit of
time. It was working Greg's. He's like, I just want to go full time.
Brilliant, mate. I love
really.
It's good to hear.
There's a few teams sniffing about him.
Apart from when he walks into training with the flip flops on in the bag for small.
Is he doing that now? Is he doing that now? Is he
just get headphones?
Queen's Park were brilliant. Leanne Dempster was great.
Leanne was excellent. Very professional. Very respectful.
We managed to get him a good deal because I think they were watching for a while and he went cold, and I didn't hear from him, and then kind of resurrected it, and
we took him out for a couple of games, didn't we?
I think
2 or 3 games.
I think they come back, and I think he might have scored 4 or 5 that day, and then bang, they were on the phone, right? Get him in, and then he got a good deal.
It's full time training, man. He's full time.
Yeah, so he's in there every day. He's got nutritionists. He's got physios.
It's a good setup. Lock-in stay training as well, so it's a good setup they've got there.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that's probably a good club for him to be at. Where
great club, local
as well. They're full time in a part-time league.
Exactly.
It gives him a bit more time to get himself used to it because who was it we were talking to somebody recently, I think it was Darren McKinnon actually, and Darren was saying like when he went for Clydebank
he's a drum champion,
he was like, I really struggled with the full time, like these boys these boys were just on it, and it took him a bit of time to get up to it, and obviously you've seen the career he had after that. You mentioned Scott and young Jay as well. You've obviously gave them a chance, and maybe that's testament to you and to them where they felt, oh well, these guys have given me a chance, because Jay's numbers are ridiculous this season as well.
Jay's been good. Jay's a good player. He's again, Jay will get his chance. I think
he'll be next.
He'll get his chance. We told him, look, you'll get your chance. I know Scott, but they're always looking for goal scorers. I says, but you've done really well, and you'll get your chance. He scored maybe 17, 18 goals or something like that, roughly. Assists have been brilliant. Really good player. Again, we took a chance on him, kept him in some games we could have dropped him.
Probably taken him out.
But we've seen the quality. He can go left or right. Technically good at crossing, corners, free kicks. He's nothing to him or no. He just skips by people, doesn't get injured.
Lovely balance. I was speaking to him the other night about his consistency. That was the only area that Paul touched on it. And we maybe left him in sometimes when we could have easily taken, but we left him in, kept his confidence up, and
but if he does what he's done this season in the Premier, I'm pretty sure somebody will say.
I suppose, like,
plus he should be wanting. He would want him. He would be what he should be wanting to stay on saying, listen, they better think to go and play in that Premier and be playing against the fullbacks.
We've had that conversation.
Listen, the Premier's, it's a top league. No, I mean,
it's a very good league.
Good crowds.
Even that the other night, but even no, just that Talbot and Darvel game the other night. It's
you wouldn't get that crowd in. No offence, it's second division, but you're not going to get that in some of the games.
You don't get that in some of the Championship games.
I'd imagine Paul and Clydebank last night would have probably get 1,000.
Well, there's guys coming to the Premier League now instead of going to the divisions. That's just that's a fact now. Do you know what I mean? And there's a wee bit more money involved with some of the teams. So
it seems more legitimate now as well with being in the pyramid. Where, granted, the Lone League are making an absolute arse of it, but after losing to Gartcairn, we mentioned they used to have a very good run again. There's 2 defeats thrown in there. You get the Rossvale one in September time where they beat you 1-0, and then the Darvel one where they gave you a bit of Guinea 5-1. I was actually it was Jordan I was speaking to about it a couple of weeks ago maybe, and we were saying it's maybe a good thing for it to happen, because you're like, the boys are going out and scudding teams, and you mentioned the Premier League being the best, which is obviously going to be, but you don't have that disparity between teams in the Premier League. Like everybody's their own merit, whereas in your league, without being disrespectful, Royal Albert and New Mains would normally never be in your league, Gartcairn, St Cadoc's.
Yeah.
So you get easier weeks. You looking back now, you almost feel like it was a good thing to lose these games for the boys to see this is next season where we're aiming at.
The Rossvale game, we actually probably should have won the game, and they got a decent goal. That was a bit disappointing to get put out then. And we were on a good run, and you could see the way they celebrated that we'd maybe won 12, 14 games in a row, that they've obviously beat a decent side. So, but it could be a good thing at the time, because you'd be playing all these cup games and guys maybe get suspended and get injured. So it might have worked out. You think back now, maybe that is a good thing, because you don't want to be playing 2-3 games a week.
No.
You know yourselves, you've done it. I liked it. I liked playing 2 or 3 a week. I loved it, but you know what's going to happen. Somebody's working, somebody's injured, suspended. So you know what your full team out, and then you lose points. So
as a player, we all loved it, but you're only thinking about good on our game tonight. We don't need to train. But when you're a manager, you're like, right, there's a good chance we're going to lose a couple because boys are getting injured, work or whatever.
Yeah. So maybe think back, it might have been a good thing that we went out so early, and then we could concentrate in the league, and the league form was good, and the teams aren't as strong as these teams. So, but you give them that respect. But there was games we were just annihilating teams. Do you know what I mean? And
even from a mindset, you're talking about, maybe keeping the feet in the ground as well. You maybe won 5-0, 7-0, 8-1, 6, whatever it may be. Then you go into that, and they get a runner in for half of that game as well, and you're in a half time and say, this is what it's about. Don't we think you're superstars? Don't we think the boys? To be fair to them, you get a pin drop when you're doing your pre-match stuff in your half time, because they want to win. You can see them. You can see the experienced guys, are sitting looking about, saying, "Okay, right, we need to get ourselves through this." And I think they're in for a game. I think was it Green? What was the one we were down? What was it? We were down half time. Green, was it? Green? And it was another one of those situations where we said to them, "Need you to dig in."
The Darvel game was different kettle of fish. They're top side, so
we had
a couple of good chances. Scott took a few.
Aye.
Big Andy made a howler on one. One of the only ones he's made, spilled it, and they get a couple of daft goals through your fault. But they're a good team. So
Very good.
5-1, I'm like, I didn't think that was a 5-1 game, but it just shows you teams like that, maybe against lesser teams.
They will punish you.
Aye.
They just punish us.
They
Any
will punish
mistake,
you.
Aye.
it was the back of the net. And
Probably we
But
kind of
you
put it
were
on.
doing to teams.
Exactly what I said.
Aye.
They came in and
And-
said,
and
that's
they were
what you did to
they're a
somebody
good
else.
sign. It was great. It was a great day out because treat it really well. Parts brilliant.
Yeah.
Everything's great about it, and that's where you want to be every week. I try to tell them that.
Aye, that's huge.
You take that in the chin.
That's where you want to be playing on this sort of part.
You make a
Surface
mistake
every
against
week.
these teams,
Yeah.
it's a goal. The game's done,
Mhm.
and they end up scoring 5 goals. But we didn't do that bad. Do you know what I mean? We played well enough.
I
But
think for boys as well, it's sometimes humbling, and it also makes you think we're not having that happening to us again. Where you don't let
Yeah.
you're playing against top players, the best players at this level, but there's no just that the best players at this level. They're all as fit as anything as well.
aye,
I mean, we commented on that.
And they've been there for a number of years. They know
Aye.
what they're doing, you know.
Well, you look at how fit and strong the Darvel team looked the other night.
Turned up the other night and I looked at every one of their players and I'm like, you all must have personal
Aye.
trainers, man.
Aye.
Every
Aye,
one
they're
of
all-
them look fit, they look strong, they look as if they could
Yeah.
run all day. They're all bursting with muscles out their tap.
Aye.
Like.
technically
Aye.
they're all
They're
good
prime.
enough. Everyone
Aye.
They're at their prime.
to the
Aye.
goalies to the full, but technically nobody's no trapping the ball. And it was
Aye.
really good quality. Do you know what I mean? And the guys in the bench are. You would take them in a minute. Do you know what I mean? But that's where we want to be. We want to be playing in that league.
Aye.
And you want
He's
to
on
be.
new.
That's
Oh,
it.
that's huge.
Cheers
To go to the team back in the big time.
Correct.
But it is good,
Aye.
isn't it? You go to Pollock and all that.
That's what you want to
It's,
do.
it's brilliant, know what I
I
mean?
mean,
It's-
you go to Paul at Clydebank, you know you're getting good
Aye.
crowds going down to Ayrshire to play Talbot, Cumnock.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
Glenafton, good crowds. You've had your great run that we spoke about. We've spoken about the Renfrew game where it finished 2 each, where we spoke about it after it and kind of off camera. We're
We
like,
did,
I said it to yous, where yous weren't want to admit it, but yous knew it. I was like, it's done anyway. Yous aren't going to lose it for here. But you were
the goal
very
difference was pretty high.
Aye.
So, and then obviously we played Gartcairn and we played pretty well. 'cause
Massive game for us.
They're a good side, do you know what I mean? They were on a
Absolutely,
good
aye.
wee run enough.
They were on a good run.
Aye.
then,
And then
aye.
they've got a lot of quality players, and we managed
We
to
played well.
win that game, and that was it. But you didn't want it to go on and on and on because it could easily have happened. Goal difference, you've not won it until
Aye, that was
the
done.
points, so you
The
could
theory
you're
is
not
good,
2 or 3 games, but it was good to. Again, it probably worked out quite well that we did draw
Aye.
with them. Then you win at
Go
home,
home, aye.
Mhm.
and it was, to be fair, Gartcairn were big Alec gave us a bottle of champagne,
Did I?
and, that, and they were good. Was not I mean after it, so me and Billy don't have a problem with them. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be people want me day, but we don't. We got on well with them, but we played really well that day, and one at home was great because your fans are on
It's good to show that you deserve to win it, beating.
But it could be
Nah,
a crowd at the Renfrew game, but what better at home than it?
You
want to be-
you want your
Right,
own
be
environment and that, and the boozers there and that.
Aye.
Aye,
But see,
exactly.
see that for me, just being an outside and we've come up against you a couple of times through the season, I feel as if everything's gone well at the club. There's a good feel good factor at the club. I feel as if I know Jordan does work for us, but I think your
Brilliant.
social media has been absolutely
He's
on the
brilliant.
money this year. I
Absolutely.
think
We were talking about that
he's-
before we went like.
He's like a good signing, you know what I mean?
Aye.
He's been different
A
class.
real ally.
and
He's
then
a good
seeing
boy.
the videos
And
of the committee guys when
Sits
he's
and
winning
does
the
it.
league
Aye,
and they're
aye,
all
aye. They're all
involved
good
and they're
boys,
all
aye.
getting a
There's-
deal and it looks
Well,
as
Wing
if
Allen,
We've only
Gordon
got a
Denny,
small
Jordan,
squad,
aye,
haven't we? There's only 3 of them, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
but they're all good lads.
And then
God-
you've got Gordon cutting the path.
Gordon Denny, he's
What's he like on the
somewhere,
pitch?
Oh, he's what a boy! But
2 belters in it, a number 1 and a Mohican they've had this year. In the
he
pitch.
does. He does a lot. He does a lot of work.
for my haircut. That one.
I gave it tight, but he does a lot of work. Do you know what I mean? So
He's sending his photos a day. That's a park cut. That's it rolled. That's all
Jordan's
lines.
been brilliant. See,
They're the diamonds,
Aye.
man.
Absolutely, they're unsung heroes. The 3 of them, you know, because they
Aye.
work really hard.
Jordan's
I
He's a
thought
good
you
boy.
had better than that. I thought
No.
you
no,
That's your
That's
that's
after
committed.
Three of us.
That's incredible.
3 and Paul and I. Aye.
That's
That's
incredible.
that's the same size as yours, and I thought they'd be the smallest.
Aye.
One of the
But you
smallest.
see
that I
me,
shoot.
Jordan, the stuff he's done for us. He's
Tremendous.
done a lot for so we
So
appreciate
talented.
all
we
the
just
work
let him
he's
do
done.
it because we've no idea.
I mean,
what
I'm
he's doing.
battering.
That's the
And,
thing. He's become part of our team. You know what I mean?
You're
He's like,
saying that.
it's so important to us, and that's the new I'd like to
Yeah.
give Jordan a wee bit. I mentioned because
Yeah.
he's such a quiet guy.
He is.
Nice
He is.
boy,
He
man.
keeps
He's
himself
a nice boy.
himself, but see, I speak to him a lot about because he does like graphics and that, and you're like, he's so good at it. And I was saying to you Willie, before we came in, it was like the thumbnails for our YouTube stuff and that. I don't even tell him. He just gives me it, and I'm
He's
like,
good,
I
isn't he?
trust you. that's good enough for me.
He just sends us
He's
stuff
done a
once
wee
he's
player of
done
the
it.
year month with us, and he's paid for the trophies, not himself.
He comes in. He comes in.
Honestly, he's done.
We bring him in. He presents it every month.
He bought a camera,
That's
one of that green kind of.
Aye, the view cam.
He bought one of them and on. He's been brilliant. Guys like Jordan, that's helped us to win the league. You know what I mean? All these things, because we can't do all that. So they're all well appreciated. You know what I mean? We couldn't just date ourselves, and you've dealt with them yourselves. You're like a great boy. You know what I mean? And just get him the same way all the time. And he's
dead quiet, but he's really good, man. You know,
he's
really
talented on all that stuff. He's really good. So
aye, definitely is.
We wouldn't have been successful if it wasn't for the three of them, because they're doing everything.
Aye.
Because we had him a couple of years ago, then he kind of took time out, and I was like,
he went to do that out Linfield.
Aye, who are we going to get to do this? And we end up doing.
It's so important nowadays.
Oh, it's massive.
I think maybe Danny done it a wee bit, and he done his wee bit, but it was Jordan's quality. Not
Jordan's brilliant.
It's Don's a Mayo when you've got somebody that's good. There's certain clubs that, and I think you're one of the best at it. But I've seen some of the videos. How was the celebrations for winning the league?
Brilliant, aye. Really good.
Absolutely brilliant, man. Aye, we've got this thing where we say, as you touched on earlier, we've been lucky enough to be kind of quite successful and now and again, and always celebrate your success. Always celebrate it, because there's guys that have played for a number of years or managed for a number of years and not won anything. You know, always celebrate it. So
that'd be a good day after the game. I don't drink personally, but
so I'd pause as well.
But with a good day, let them all do what they wanted, and then
it was brilliant.
It was cracking. So now we're down the cup.
Wasn't quite the same as when we won it with Wardley. We went to Murcia.
Oh, did you have a wee trip away?
Oh, that's another story in itself.
But we want it kind of be told.
Yeah, no one this.
We had a good day. A really good day, and then obviously now we've got a cup. So listen, season's not done yet.
Yeah.
Well, on the cup, you've obviously had that wee lull for the high of winning the league, and in a couple of weeks without a game, and it's this weekend. For when this is out. Everybody will know, but
Easter weekend, you know, it's like players will go out on a Wednesday. Oh, my missus has booked something. So Wisher were struggling with our committee and that, and they're decent guys. So we were all right with just two teams agreeing to move.
Phone Kenny Young said to him, look, both teams are happy. It's okay if we move it, and he said, fine.
That's decent.
And it makes
that's
everybody.
That's the way it should be. But if it's agreement between two,
they had a couple of boys missing, and
there's no Martin Kenny,
and we'd have had the same. So we went, no bother, and we moved it, and. Wisher decent, know what I mean?
If done his team,
it's together.
It's not going to be an easy game at all.
No, it'll be well organised, and it'll be a tough game. And then obviously you win that. If you win that, you've got Craig Mark, who are going pretty well.
Another tough one.
We'll one game at a time. We're Wisher, and that's going to be a tough game.
We had a wee session last night. We had a training session last night again. So try and get them back into it and get them. Hopefully we
my whole team and that, I know a lot of the boys that are there. Donny, I like Donny, you know what I mean? He's a good guy.
He's working hard there.
So they've got
they've got guys,
two decent guys there.
They know what they're doing.
And they've got good players there. I know quite a few of them, and it's going to be a tough game.
And they'll be real. They've not got much to play for in league sort of thing, so they'll be looking at the cup. They'll be looking at the cup and saying, "Let's see how far we can go in the cup."
Yeah, you see with them. By all accounts, should have beaten Petershill and ended Petershill winning the league.
Right.
I mean, that's not an easy feat. Petershill are a good side. Obviously, you're saying Craig Martin now. This is me getting ahead just because we've spoken about it. There's a potential another crack at Darvel if you can get through that. You know, I mean, obviously, it's a long way down the road, but that's an incentive for the boys surely as well.
Definitely. Listen, if lucky enough to win this game, then the next one, if we get that far. It could be Shotts or Darvel, but you would like to play. It's doing it Darvel if it is like you say. You'd like to maybe get something out of that game. Obviously, last time they kind of cuffed us a wee bit, but listen, we'll just take one game at a time, and then we'll talk about that hopefully if we get there.
For next season, just briefly, I know you because I know what it's like as a manager. You kind of stop thinking, planning ahead for next season. What's the hopes for next year?
Listen, obviously you don't want to be relegated. You want to win the league and do okay. Maybe mid-table would be great. You'd be looking for that, but you're not guaranteed it, obviously. But anything round about there would be brilliant.
It needs to be recognised. It's a big jump for us.
It's
a big jump.
It's a big jump, but I don't know the setup. Is it two teams go down or whatever? So it's going to be a wee bit easier to I want to say easier to stay in league, but it's no
not
7
that
teams
7
go down this
teams
year.
down.
That's a lot. You could have a good season and you're done.
On the flip side, for me, I think that it's going to be a harder league next year because, no disrespect to Bonnet and Blantyre, who have had really tough years, it's 16 teams and it's the best 16.
You've got Peter Sill going into Arthurlie.
So
you've got these good teams every game. It's a hard
need to
game
be up
now.
for it.
So, but
Aye, so is that how it's going to be? 2 down and 1 and the third one in a playoff, basically, like it used to be. Maybe.
so it's going to be a tough gig to stay in the league. Do you know what I mean?
And that's what we want to try and do, just
want to
consolidate and stay there, you know.
Keep in the league and
it's been a long time coming, trying to get in there. So.
You don't want to get in it for a year and then back down.
I know.
That's a headache.
And then you don't want to sit and go into the league and say, we're going to go and win it. Know what I mean? Because
it's not going to happen.
Hang me the teams that you're up against and
no chance.
The resources
you want to go up there, be respectful and try and just keep it
simple. Paul and they're no obviously win it and players they've got. Do you know what I mean?
So
phenomenal.
So we'd be happy just to stay in it and then hopefully
over
just
the moon. We could try and do that.
It's like you could end up getting the quality marks, getting the Scottish Cup and all that. So just one step at a time.
The longer you're in it, and all, it's better to attract players and that.
Exactly.
Because you're in there.
You've got to try and maintain it there, but to attract them.
So. Whoever wins it this year, you could have your Darvels coming to Camby, bringing 200 people with them, then more money, better players,
exactly,
and you could keep going on and on and on.
As it kind of it has a knock-on effect. Right, we're going to do something a wee bit different to finish than we normally do because I think that he's had such an amazing season. Me and Jordan put together a wee quiz today.
Oh, right, so these are doing things behind my back. The boys are not.
You get to take part in the fun.
Oh, am I involved here?
You're involved, aye.
Yes. Right.
So the 3's, right? So we're going to, I'll mark down Billy, Paul and Dak, right? First question, start with yourself, Paul, right? Who scored the first league goal of the season? And you get an extra point if you can tell us who it was again. Well, so you know.
But for us?
Aye, for you, who scored the first league goal of the season?
Our first league goal. Well, our first league goal would be St Cadix, obviously. Let me think who's got.
Well, he's chopping a bit there.
He must know.
He knows he's on it.
Jordan sent me questions before it.
just a check.
Was it Scott?
Right, so that's your guess.
I thought it was Gemmell.
Right, Gemmell.
I'm going to go with Tony Stevenson.
Right, point to you. It was Scott scored the first goal. Right,
I was going to say him by the way. Aye, but then I thought, wait a minute.
I was going to say him. I thought
I remember
that's too obvious.
Aye.
On the flip side, who scored the last league goal of the season? Start with yourself. That you went last time, so
the last league goal
of this season.
Right, okay.
So
who was just remind me
who was the team?
The Thornwood game.
Oh, the Thornwood game. It was Gemmell, I'm sure. Gemmell got the last goal. Aye.
Gemmell.
Well done.
Because I mentioned that because he got. I said it's fitting that he get the last goal.
That was his 100th.
And he got the last goal.
I tell you what.
He said he's retiring and all.
Is it?
He said that, didn't he?
So he said.
He's saying
We're talking to him. Have a chat with him.
He's been saying that.
We've no sat down.
Nah.
Finally, you mentioned the 100th goal, right? So it's back to you go first this time, all right? Who scored your 100th league goal this season? When I say it was me and Jordan put it together.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Didn't it?
Tony Stevenson.
Right, Tony.
I'm going to say Scott again.
Scott.
I'll go with Jay.
Not one of these were right. It was Alan Reid.
Was it Reid?
Aye. Right, so question 4. Anson has scored 24 goals this season. How many of them has he scored from defence? Start yourself, Paul.
12.
13.
This is a
You need higher than 11, mate.
11. These are all rang. 17.
Aye.
Wow.
Now, what I'm going to say is, all my head was thinking there with these big long pauses is the audio version of this, and I'm like, people are going to think this is switched off because they have to say that.
We're not stealing these, and you're wondering to go higher or lower than 13.
So he scored more goals playing at centre half, huh?
They had mental, right?
He's been phenomenal.
Who has more assists, Tony Stevenson or Jay Nelson? Start with yourself.
I'll go with Jay.
Jay.
Billy's still there.
Jay.
Tony. Jay has 26 assists. Tony is 27.
Wow.
That's insane.
Aye,
That's how I mentioned with Jay, with saying his numbers are ridiculous. 26.
That's the pingers he can see.
Unbelievable, man. Right.
Sorry, Tony.
I tell you what, I know it's not the easiest, right? He's only doing particularly well. Paul, you're leading 2-1-1. Right. So, question 6. We've got 10, by the way. So, New Main's game. He's beat them 8-2. Scotty Williamson scored 7. Who scored the other? Right, start yourself.
A murder on start. Ryan Stewart.
I'm going to say Ryan Stewart. That's coming to my mind.
I was going to say that, but I'll change it then and go with Gary.
It's Gemmell.
Is that?
Gemmell. Right.
Wow, man.
This is a two-parter. First part of it, the preliminary round of the Kelly Pie Cup. Who was it he's played?
First round, aye.
First round.
I'll jump in. Was that the big one when everybody's in it?
It's our big cup, the West's big cup.
Faltush.
It's not your turn.
Aye, but I'm jumping in because I don't want to lose him.
No, it's not. It's not the South of Scotland Cup. It's the Kelly Pie.
So I'm out.
Kelly Pie Cup. Oh man.
I'm shooting Faltush.
It's the one in Saturday's game. So
who's be playing that? That's terrible.
First round. No.
First round. Obviously, we won it.
He's won a lot of games this season.
I know, I'm going to have to press his hip.
Drumchapel?
Drumchapel.
Drumchapel won the first round.
I'm just throwing a team out there.
Basically, the road and argument. And then you've just threw a quiz in, man, and then all hell's breaking loose.
When you go, Billy, I'm going to press you.
I can't think.
Right. You want to guess?
Nah, I'll stick with Faltush.
Lark Hall.
So was I.
Right, so what was the score in that game? Obviously, it's a complete guess.
5-1.
5-1.
4-1.
4-1.
6-1.
6-1.
What's that?
Well done, Paul. You're starting to run away. There's 2 questions left. You've basically got this guaranteed. This is a Renfrew scenario here.
I didn't play skill or not.
Right. I don't know why Jordan's went with this, right? But who captained the team in the second league game? The game against Glasgow United. So I'm wondering if there's any significance in this. Start yourself. Billy, we'll go with you first.
Anson.
Glasgow United away.
Yep.
I'll go with Anson and all.
Reedy.
Beautiful, that well played.
What is that?
Brought yourself right back in it.
No,
Billy's
like,
gone.
really? It must have been there.
You there?
No, but I just thought he's your experience, man. I thought, and did he not used to have a link with Shettleston? I think his brother played for Glasgow United.
Well, that was quality that you've put that together.
I know his brother.
Right, the last one I will give you the closest. I'll get the point. Gemmell scored 100 goals at this level. How many has he scored for Cambuslang?
League goals or goals?
Just goals.
For Cambuslang, he scored about 67.
67, Billy?
63.
63. On you go, Dak.
61.
Paul gets the point for being closest. It's 76 in 92 games.
Aye.
That's unreal, isn't it?
Incredible, man.
Man.
I don't think I've ever seen a team where so many guys have chipped in with insane numbers. I mean,
What about man saying numbers there and that? Tell me the score.
Right, so
roughly.
In second place.
Zippy's not won enough this season. Needs to get it up.
In second place, we have Dak on 2 points.
Oh.
And third place, way back. Billy on 1 point. We're probably a lucky guess somewhere.
It was.
And then Paul, the winner, with 4 points.
I'm terrible with stats, man.
See, being honest with you, see with Billy's record, I think that quiz, I don't care about quizzes. Billy's like, they two just win quizzes. I get promotions and win leagues, not that. Never mind him.
Look, guys, I'm going to finish it on that. we've been trying to get you for a wee while.
Appreciate it.
You have been excellent with us too, and then the fact that Jordan, like we said, has come in. Cambuslang been brilliant with us, sponsoring episodes and stuff. We can't thank you enough. The season you have had up to date has been unbelievable, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the season. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
I just mirror with PG's bang on what he's saying. Cambuslang as a club have been brilliant with us, and you guys as well, and brilliant season. Wish you all the best for next season. I'm sure you'll not have much of a summer break, because I know what the two of you are like. You are going to be players and business and getting the team sorted and the club sorted for next year.
It's a great podcast, and we enjoy listening to it.
What's your training nights, by the way?
Monday, Wednesday,
right. I was thinking about
you want to do a bit of training?
No chance.
Get back.
No, you wouldn't want me anyway.
It's only club he's not played for. Nearly managed them, but fuck me.
No, I was thinking coming down to training one night and doing a wee bit of stuff with us, but we'll definitely be doing next season anyway.
The one thing I want to chin you about, what happened to our invite to the presentation night,
by the way, where was that?
You got it?
What's happening?
No, you're invited to play the ear dance.
That's far better.
I don't know if I can sit next to Paul all night talking about how he pumped us at the quiz.
No, he's a welcome to come. It's the 30th of the club, and more than welcome.
Appreciate it. Thanks for all your support as well.
We need to get down at some point to Camby anyway. If we can get a game in and all, would be even better. Do you know
He's welcome.
Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching. As always, like the episode, subscribe to the channel. It makes a massive difference. If you want to comment, ask any questions about it, fire that in the comment section as well. Thanks for watching. Have a good week.
Cheers. Everybody. Take care.